I've done it. I've read Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I did it in less than 2 weeks. That is a feat. That is a feat. But I'm now at a loss of what to do with myself. Because this... It's as big as Way of Kings on word count, because I googled it. It's 300,000 words. And is it perfection? And no. Was the ending perfection? Yes. It was entirely perfection. I loved and I hated the characters in this book. There were moments in the story where it did drag a little bit and I was left a bit like, where are we kind of going? But I'm reading it with a group of friends. Mainly Hardy's books, because they are just... Ross loves it and they'd held a reading for it, and this particular copy, which has illustrations and everything inside it, was my late grandma's copy, and I was very intimidated because I didn't want to hate it. Good news, I don't hate it, but I'm also conflicted. Part of me wants to crack it open and reread it again. I am at a loss of words, because then another part of me is also like, what do I do with my life now? Or kind of like, there are parts in the book where I found it a bit meh and a bit draggy and a bit, I don't know, it's not like anything I usually read. So it's hard for me to construct my thoughts and what I would review it as, because it's Victorian England. It's Napoleonic, which I adore, but weirdly enough, those sections in the book I found the least entertaining. I found the most entertaining was the first 3 chapters of the book, with not even the first 3 chapters, the first part of the book with just Norrell, where Strange has been mentioned but you never meet him until you get to volume 2, like part 2. And then the moments between Strange and Norrell, but then the moments where the war comes into play, where like that kind of, I was like, no, it was the quieter moments for me, the quieter discovering of magic, Norrell being secretive, and then you get to the end and the ending, how everything came together, like the last 20 chapters, which probably like 200 pages, was so gripping. Like, I'm an old granny at heart. I am such an old granny. I'm in bed by 9, right? I'm asleep. I'm out for the count. And then I'm up at dawn. So the fact that last night I got to chapter 60 and I was like, it's 9:30. I need to go to bed because I've worked the next day. And I didn't want to stop. I had to force myself to stop. And then I did my first morning yard shift. I came back and all I did was read. And 3 hours later, because I'm such a slow eyeball reader, I had read the last 100 pages. And perfection. Utterly perfection. Perfection. It was so gripping, and the way it's told, and it's beautiful, and it's comforting in its own ways. Like, this would be a book, weirdly enough, that I'd feel like I gravitate towards when I need a little bit of comfort. But saying that, I'm also got so angry in this book, mainly at Norrell. Like, he is the worst man. He is the worst man, right? He's a sexist. So secretive. Everything that happened in this book started because of Norrell. It was his fault and it tumbled down and no one blamed him, and he didn't take the blame. He was like, no, it's fine. And then something happened with a particular character, chapter 44 for it to be exact, and I went off the fucking rocker. I was on the buddy read chat and I was like, holy fucking shit. And then Laura was like, holy fucking shit. And Ross is sitting there sipping his tea, fucking laughing at everybody because this is his second read through, because this is his favourite fucking book, and we're all losing our shits. Heads exploding. We don't know what the fuck's going on. Holy fucking, like, it was incredible, okay? So that particular thing happened at chapter 44, and we knew that Norrell had some blame, right? And don't you tell me he didn't know about it. Don't you tell me. But he did nothing. He did nothing. Also, the blindness of men in this book. Like, how blind do you have to be at your own wife that you woke up, didn't realise she wasn't in bed beside you, assumed she was, and then all of a sudden she's walking across the moors and you're panicking because now you can't find her. Like, if you'd known earlier, if you'd listened to like, you're a magician, dude. A fucking magician. And you didn't see anything coming. The signs, but people were slapping you around the face with the signs of magic around you and you were just oblivious. That's just men. That's just fucking men. But it was such an entertaining tale. It was so elegantly put. The characters were... they were like cake. Like, nice and subtle, but explorative and so full of depth. Even Norrell, who I will stand on the hill, I hate him so much. I hate him so much, which is really insane considering I love the ending. The last chapter, the last page, the last paragraph, the ending. You'd think I'd want something different, but it was the absolute perfect ending for this book. And it is... This is a vibe. Am I going to call it a vibey book? It is kind of a vibey book. It's a book that takes you on an exploration of English, of exploration of potential magic, of secrets and history and so much depth and rivalry. But is it really rivalry, or is it just more academic and you actually like each other? Is it kind of a little bit gay? Is it a little bit flourishy? Is it just... I don't know. There were some instances with characters in this book and they got their perfect ending and I loved it. It literally is perfection from how each of these characters got what they deserved in the end, and it was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Even Drawlight and Lascales, you know, I can't say his name, Lassie, you know, Lascales, this is him. I spent most of the time going through this book liking these characters because I did like characters like Norrell and Lascales in the beginning. Same with Norrell. I thought he was interesting and entertaining in the beginning. And then as you go through the book, things revealed, their true nature came out. And I started screaming at this book. I started hating them for being men. But this book is just the perfect story to be told when you want that Victorian era-esque, where you want the slow, the comfort, it's a story about two magicians at its root. It's a story about two magicians, it's a story about magic, it's a story about history and mythology and secrets and the consequences of that. And it was absolutely perfect. I still want to go and reread it. It's probably one I will reread. I will read this. I didn't audiobook this, although Ross has said the audio is very good. And I have tried some of it. There's two of them. I've tried the Richard Armitage one and that was good. But to get into this book, I had to eyeball it for a bit. And then I eyeball read it. Honestly, I'm in awe. I love it. I love this book. It's all the more so that it was on my late grandma's copy, but all the more so because how everything came together. It was literally perfection. I hope you're going to go read it. If you've read it, let me know. And thank you, Ross from Hardy's Books, for doing this read along, because I probably would never have picked this up in years because I was so intimidated by it. And yet, is it a favourite? I don't know. I'm still too close to just finishing it to know, but I enjoyed it. I had such a good time and I really hope you guys are going to go read it. On that note, happy reading.